So if you've decided to do a lighting upgrade or a tenant improvement, or for that matter any other type of improvement in your building, one must understand how taxes work to begin with. So when you buy a building today, as far as the IRS is concerned, there's a 39-year amortization by and large on the fixed assets and the major assets of that building, the lights, the carpeting, the walls, etc. So if you haven't line by line listed each one of these different aspects of what it took to build that building, then you basically take this whole lump sum of what that building cost you and you amortize that over the course of time. So like 99% of the country, if you're going to do a lighting upgrade where you're going to change the fixtures out, you take down the old fixture, you throw it in the garbage. If you're really smart, you might even get some recycling out of that and be able to get some scrap dollars for it, and then you go ahead and replace the new items with new fixtures, new technologies. Except on your books, you still have this ghost asset that is going to be there for the remainder of the initial time period. Well, if you do an asset management study or cost segregation, we send in engineers who can actually take apart the entire building. No different than if you took a car and separated every part and tagged each part with how much did the tire cost and the bushing and the nuts and the wires and the steering wheel and the seats, on and on. Once we have all of those items, we can then reclassify them in two ways. One, by retiring an asset early, we can accelerate the depreciation for that individual light fixture. Two, you can potentially rebucket it. So where you might have carpet right now in a 39-year bucket, that could be actually transferred into a 5 or a 7-year bucket, thereby accelerating that depreciation from what you have as well. So whether or not you're going to use a asset management study just for the purposes of a lighting upgrade, or a carpet upgrade, or a window upgrade, or an air conditioning upgrade, it is important to consider using a summary for all of these assets for you to use over the course of the time that you own that building. How does that apply? Well, if you take an asset study, or as we say, a cost segregation study on steroids, and we mix that with putting in a new energy efficient lighting system, and then you take that and say, hey, with the savings that we can enjoy, can we finance that so that the savings on the system itself will not only pay for the system through financing, but you can actually have a positive cash flow from the first day. It is a very enticing type of system to study and take a look at whether or not you would qualify for that type of program. In addition to that, the government today offers other tax incentives, as well as EPACT, which is the Energy Policy Act of 2005, allowing you to enjoy up to 60 cents per square foot for a lighting system, an air conditioning system, or a total envelope, depending on how you qualify. In order to qualify for a lighting system, you must meet 3 criteria. 1 is a certain amount of watts per square foot. 2, you must have a dual switching capability, meaning that we can shut off either some of the lights within a cavity or in an area of a room. And the third one is having the light level that meets the ANSI standards for minimum foot candles at a particular task. Parking garages are an excellent candidate as long as they have walls around them and a roof. So even on a 4 or 5 story parking garage, the only one that would not be qualified would be the rooftop system itself. On an interior basis, you can either do an entire building or you can do areas of that building at a time. It is not necessary for you to think you either get 0 cents or the full 60. Depending on where you fall in with the watts per square foot, you can get from 0 cents up to 60 cents. When you combine that with the other tax incentives, the possible early retirement of the asset, it is very compelling for you to consider doing a lighting upgrade as opposed to a lighting retrofit today. And the difference between the two is a lighting retrofit, you're using the existing fixture and replacing the internal component parts, compared to a lighting upgrade where we actually remove the old technology and put in a new, nicer, more efficient technology, which will actually add to the aesthetics of your facility.